Hi. Financial crises have happened throughout history, and every single one has followed the exact same six-stage pattern. From the tulip mania of 1637 to the Great Depression to the 2008 collapse, the same playbook. Different actors, same script. Understanding this pattern means you will never be blindsided by one again. Let us walk through it, stage by stage. Stage 1. The bubble. Every financial crisis begins with an asset that people believe will rise in price forever. It could be tulips, housing, technology stocks, or anything. During a bubble, lending becomes reckless. Banks issue loans to anyone. Investors take enormous risks. Everyone believes prices will keep rising. Caution disappears. In 2008, United States home mortgage debt reached 73% of the entire country's annual economic output, up from 46% just a decade earlier. That was the bubble. Stage 2. The trigger. Something causes confidence to crack. A default, a scandal, a rate rise. The exact trigger changes. The effect never does. In 2008, the trigger was the collapse of the subprime mortgage market. Millions of homeowners defaulting on loans they should never have received. Stage 3. The bank run. When confidence breaks, depositors panic. They rush to their bank to withdraw their money before the bank runs out. The problem? The bank does not have everyone's money. It has lent most of it out. If everyone demands their money at the same moment, the bank cannot pay. In 1929, bank runs destroyed over 9,000 American banks in 3 years. In 2007, Britain's Northern Rock Bank experienced the country's first bank run in 150 years. Stage 4. The credit freeze. Banks stop trusting each other. They stop lending to each other overnight, even to healthy institutions. The entire financial plumbing seizes up. Walter Bagehot, the 19th century economist, understood this perfectly. He wrote, "If a bank must prove it is worthy of credit, its credit is already gone." When banks will not lend to each other, businesses cannot get short-term loans to pay their employees. Supply chains stop, businesses close, layoffs begin. Stage 5. Contagion. The crisis spreads from one institution to another, one country to another. When one bank holds assets from another failing bank, it becomes infected too. In 2008, Lehman Brothers collapsed on September 15th. Within 24 hours, money market funds broke the buck. Global credit markets froze almost overnight. The 2008 crisis ultimately wiped out more than $2 trillion from the global economy. Iceland's entire banking system collapsed. Unemployment doubled in many countries. Stage 6. The response. Governments and central banks intervene. They do 3 things: inject liquidity, guarantee deposits, and bail out failing institutions. The Federal Reserve, the United States Central Bank, acted as the lender of last resort in 2008. It provided emergency funding to Bear Stearns, the American International Group, and others. In 2008, the United States government passed the Troubled Asset Relief Program, authorizing $700 billion to purchase toxic assets from banks and stabilize the financial system. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation guarantees deposits up to $250,000 per account. This single policy, created after the 1929 Depression, prevents most modern bank runs before they start. Central banks also use quantitative easing, purchasing government bonds to inject money directly into the financial system when interest rate cuts alone are not enough. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The response to a crisis often plants the seeds of the next one. Bailouts signal that large institutions will always be rescued, encouraging future recklessness. This is called moral hazard. When the cost of failure is removed, the incentive to be careful is also removed. Economists have debated this problem for centuries. After 2008, the United States passed the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform Act, requiring banks to hold more capital, reducing risky shadow banking, and creating a new consumer protection agency. But every generation of regulators faces the same challenge. Markets evolve faster than rules. The next crisis is never in the place regulators are watching. What does a financial crisis actually feel like for ordinary people? Savings accounts freeze, jobs disappear, home values collapse, credit cards get canceled, retirement funds shrink. After the 2008 crisis, United States unemployment peaked at 10%. 10 million Americans lost their homes. It took most families a decade to rebuild what they lost. Now you understand the pattern. Bubble, trigger, bank run, credit freeze, contagion, response. Every financial crisis, past, present, and future, follows these 6 stages. The next crisis will come. It always does. But now you will recognize it when it starts. Subscribe, and I will keep you informed every week.